Hello again. We're doing an update on performance test on the Xserve RAID with a PowerMac G5 Dual 2.0 server. As you recall, last time we did the Brocade and the fiber setup. So we ran each of the left and the right controller into the Brocade, which is behind. I run one single from the Brocade to this, one single from the Brocade to that. That way I can access the volumes if I ever needed to fail over to my second server in case of something catastrophic with the primary. So without further ado, so for now I'm going to close my iTunes library. I host the files for my movies and TV shows on the right side, which is the larger of the two. Like we said in previous videos, the left side is 7 500 gig drives, and the right side is 7 1 terabyte drives. I do have 1 terabytes for the left side, but I don't really have any use for a 500 gig drive without being in a RAID here, so I'm just going to use them until they die. As you can see, I still have plenty of space. There's 1.84 terabytes available on this one. This one still has 3.21 out of its 7. So we're going to do some real world tests. So I'm going to copy items from the left to the right. What I'll do first off, let me copy a movie. How about Night at the Museum? It is an MPEG 4, 1.28 gigs. So I'm just going to copy this to the left. 1.27 gigs. As you can see, it's copying at a relatively decent speed. I could show you the lights on the front, which I may do in a second. So it takes about 10 seconds to copy 1.27 gigs from the right side to the left side. Now again, it should take about the same time. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rename this to 1.27 gigabytes. There. Now we know the size. From left to right, it should be about the same. They're both using the same Brocade, the same controller. You can see the speed here. About 10 seconds to copy 1.27 gigabytes. And the really nice thing is it does a wonderful light show while you're doing the copy. First off, I'm going to delete the left side. You should see that flicker. I'm going to empty the trash so it's not online. Give it a couple seconds to get its bearings. So here we go. From right side to left side, 1.27 gig MPEG 4. Copying now. So the right side will be of course, the feeder, and the left is writing. The activity lights in the middle show you what's going on. So on the desktop, the copy has completed. You can see the left side takes a couple seconds to finish writing everything. Now I'm going to do the same thing back to the right side. Empty the trash. 1.27 gigs from the left to right side. Copying. Now the right side has better drives, so I don't think the 500s on the left can keep up with the writing as fast as the right side can, because they're all 1 terabyte drives. But it takes about the same amount of time. The activity lights are the same. We're going to take the same Night at the Museum and copy it to my desktop. Where's the copy? Oh crap, it's on the second window. .37 gigs. Now my home network is 1 gig. Okay, so there it is. Oops, you can't see it because it's a little bit off the screen, but here it is. Now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to rename this 1.37
gig, because that is what it says here. And I'm just simply going to copy this file back over to the same directory, just so you can see, oops, the speed copying to the Xserve is a lot better. So it takes about 10 seconds for 1.5 gigs. You can run Plex, you can run, you know, whatever you want on it, and it can handle it. I mean, if it's just your home network, I surf my iTunes library. I do run Plex off of it, so you know, if you have any of the newer XBMC or whatever you want. Now, for me, I run Plex, but I've run XBMC before, but Plex, between Plex and my Apple TVs at home, it seems to work very well. Performance-wise, you just saw it's about 10 seconds a copy, 1.5 gigs. You can do multiple streams. Do remember that your feeders are 2 gig from the RAID controllers. Apologies. So from the RAID controllers, your feeds are 2 gig, and I have mine going into the Brocade. The Brocade then feeds them out 2 gig. I don't believe there will be any increase in performance if I still had separate channel, one into the left, one into the right. It's possible that there may be a small boost in performance because they each have an independent 2 gig channel to run off of between the card in the PowerMac server and the Xserve RAID's controllers. But since the Brocade's fabric system does a pretty good job at separating traffic, especially when I have the other server on, it's okay. I mean, you don't need all the stuff that I have. You could just have the Xserve RAID, the setup like this. Not necessarily the second server, but you could have, you know, the Xserve RAID, one PowerMac, one of these cards, these PCI fiber cards. You can even use the copper cables that come with it. You don't have to actually have the GBICs. Performance, it was, I guess, pretty much the same with the Apple copper / fiber cable that you saw in the previous videos. You could use everything. I mean, you can still buy these PCIX fiber cards brand new. They will work in the Intel PowerMacs. You can pick them up on eBay, relatively cheap, couple $100. The G5s, $100 to $200, depending on how much stuff they got in them. They are heavy, so shipping will eat you alive. If you can find a good deal with free shipping, jump on it. Like I said, these are older PowerMacs. These are 2005-ish range. They're dual 2.0. PowerPC. They work wonderfully. I don't have any problems with them. I mean, you're not going to be running, I mean, this is running Leopard 10.5.8. I mean, you're not going to be running Snow Leopard on without an Intel processor, or Lion, Mountain Lion, any of the 10.6, 10.7s. If you can find yourself a deal, you can go to various websites. Just Google it. I think there's like an AnyMac. It has a whole historical sheet list of all of the different Macintosh models, and you know, if you wanted to go that, you don't need to have a Macintosh. You can do the same thing with an Xserve RAID on a PC. If you have a Windows machine, Windows server, you get yourself a PCI fiber card or PCIX or whatever you can. You don't have to have an Apple fiber card. You would have to do the modules then. I don't know if the Apple cables will work in a Windows card. I have not tried it. Maybe that's something for the future. I have a couple old Windows boxes right next to it. Maybe we can try something with that. But there you go. That's a quick, dirty performance test and what you can use the Xserve RAID for in 2017. So, as always, guys, thumbs up, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a great one.